Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about Playtime Chapter 5, and believe me, the news I have to share is really important. In the past few days, a member of Mob Entertainment has posted new official messages that give us confirmation of something incredible. There is an official playable version of Chapter 5. Now, pay attention, we are not talking about the playtest. Also, this is a private version reserved exclusively for Mob Entertainment, which previews what the final development of the game will look like. This means that Chapter 5 is already in a very advanced stage and that something concrete is taking shape behind the scenes. A few days ago, I talked to you about a playtest version confirmed by Amber, but today the news is even more exciting. We are not talking about the playtest, but about an official playable version that really lets us understand where the game is going and how real the progress towards the final release is. During this video, we will look together at all the official messages, we will analyze them in detail and make all the possible considerations about the development of Chapter 5. I will show you every little detail that could indicate new mechanics, characters, or surprises waiting for us. Before we start, I remind you to do two super quick but very important things. Like the video if you are curious to discover everything about Chapter 5, and subscribe to the channel to not miss any news, trailer, or update about Playtime. The next few weeks could bring us really incredible surprises, and I want to make sure you don't miss them. Alright, now let's get ready to dive into the new official messages from Mob Entertainment and discover together all the confirmations about the playable version of Chapter 5. Let's get started. Now let's take a look at the message that confirms the playable version of Chapter 5. On Discord, a user asked Spencer, one of the members of Mob Entertainment, if he had already played Chapter 5. And Spencer's answer was clear. Yes, he has already played. This is a very important detail because it officially confirms that Chapter 5 already exists in a playable form. The situation here is very different compared to what we analyzed with Amber. Amber had confirmed that she did a playtest, so she tried the game in a version meant exclusively for testing. Not yet final. In that case, it was clear that she was looking at a preliminary version of the game to help developers gather feedback. Here, however, Spencer does not mention a playtest at all. He simply says he has already played Chapter 5 without adding any other details. This makes a very interesting point clear. Probably the version he had access to is much closer to the final one. So, it is no longer just about testing mechanics or content in advance. We are talking about a game that is practically complete, or at least in a very advanced stage of development. We have to consider another factor, always important. The game, in fact, is scheduled to release on February 18, so next month. This means that development has now reached the final part. The main mechanics have been implemented, the story is complete, and the final details are being polished. If Spencer has already had the chance to play Chapter 5, it is not unlikely that the game is already fully structured and that Mob Entertainment is now simply looking for any bugs or glitches to fix to avoid releasing a game with technical problems like what happened with Chapter 4. So this confirmation from Spencer not only tells us that Chapter 5 really exists, but it also shows that the official release is very close and that we will probably see a very polished product soon. This information gives us a clear and concrete overview of how things are going. We are in the final phase, Chapter 5 is already playable, and in a few weeks we will finally be able to get our hands on it all. Now let's move on to make some considerations about the gameplay of Chapter 5. One of the most iconic and important elements of Playtime gameplay is of course the grab pack. In each chapter, we have always found new hands to add to the grab pack, each with special features that change the way we can play and face situations in the lab. In the cinematic trailer of Chapter 5, we can clearly see the yellow hand. This is a very important detail because it officially confirms that this hand will be part of the grab pack. I remember that as early as 2022, when the first theories and concept art circulated, many fans had hypothesized the existence of a yellow hand, but until now, there had never been an official confirmation. Now, however, we are sure, the yellow hand exists and is official. But at the moment we still don't know exactly what it will be used for. There is no official information about its functions, so we can only make guesses based on what we can see and analyze in the screenshots. If we look closely at the screenshot of the hand and apply some filters, for example lowering the brightness and increasing the contrast, we can notice a really curious detail. On the hand there seems to be a small display with a face depicted. This opens up so many possibilities for its functionality. For example, it could be a hand that has a face that changes during gameplay or depending on the situations we face. It could be a sort of integrated digital assistant, which communicates useful information while exploring or signals dangers. Or the face on the hand could change emojis when we are in particularly dangerous situations, as if it were a visual alert system built directly into the grab pack. If all this is true, it would be really interesting because it would further enrich the gameplay. It would no longer be just a tool to interact with objects and solve puzzles, but it would also become a dynamic and alive element that communicates something to us and reacts to our actions. This could lead to new strategies, new ways of playing, and above all, a more immersive and engaging experience compared to previous chapters. The yellow hand could become one of the most important and innovative elements of Chapter 5 gameplay. Another very interesting factor that we need to consider is still related to the Steam page of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. From the Steam page, a very important detail emerges. The grab pack will have new tools and functionalities. This means that the yellow hand will not be the only upgrade available to us in Chapter 5, but there will be other additions that could significantly change the way we play and interact with the game environment. We don't know all the details yet, but we can make some considerations and hypotheses. First of all, it is possible that other new hands will be introduced, in addition to the yellow one. Each new hand, as we have seen in previous chapters, has always brought new possibilities and functions. Having more hands therefore means having a more varied and layered gameplay. The new grab pack functionalities could also include completely new tools, which are not hands, but can still be equipped and used within the mechanical backpack. This wouldn't be completely new if we think about what happened in Chapter 4. The flashlight we used was integrated directly into the grab pack, and it was already an additional tool beyond the hands. So, applying the same reasoning to Chapter 5, it is possible that we will see even more innovative tools, gadgets, small devices, or special tools that will help us interact with the game world in completely new ways. They could be used to solve puzzles, face enemies, or even communicate with some elements of the laboratory. In short, the grab pack could become an even more complex and dynamic multifunctional tool, making the gameplay much richer and more interesting than in previous chapters. If we also consider that the yellow hand seems to have a display with a face, combining this element with new tools could mean that the grab pack will become an interactive hub, almost an extension of the player themselves. Each new tool could interact with the hands, the environment, and perhaps even the enemies, creating new strategies and approaches to the game. The new tools and functionalities of the grab pack are not just a small technical detail. They are one of the key points of Chapter 5's gameplay and could really change the way we experience the game. Thank you so much for watching the video until the end. You are amazing. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.